So we have Eric KAYE from Holmes brand of Rums, right? That's
Yes.
what you're bottling, Rums?
Yes.
So Eric, welcome to Norfolk Wine and Spirits.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Thank you for taking the time. So tell us about yourself a little bit.
Sure. So I've been drinking rum for 30 years, and I started this company 3 years ago because I got increasingly frustrated that nobody was bringing these amazing cask-strength single-barrel rums to the United States. The Europeans have a great tradition, history of independent bottlings of whiskeys and rums and spirits that just didn't really exist here in the U.S. So I decided to become one of the first U.S. independent rum bottlers.
One of the first independent rum bottlers. Rum has a great history in the U.S. I mean, especially Boston. You know, everybody who has been to Faneuil Hall knows about that molasses flood back in the
Great
day,
molasses
right?
flood.
And I mean, we're a whiskey store, but we love rum. I mean, you know, Foursquare, Richard Seal and Gale, Maggie Campbell. You know, they have been here many times, and you know, amazing rums they're creating. What you're doing is slightly different. It's not a single distillery, so it's an independent bottler.
Yeah.
You're seeking out rums from all over the world. It seems like not only northern hemisphere, southern hemisphere as well. We see something from, I would say Australia. We had today.
Got an Australian rum
Yeah.
right here.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're not distillers. We don't make the rum. We're more curators.
Mhm.
So I get to travel around to the world's best distilleries and try and convince them to sell me rums. So we've brought in rums from 10 different countries around the world, from Central America, from Caribbean, from Australia, from Africa, South Pacific, and it's amazing the variety of rums are out there. Much more so diverse category than whiskeys, where you get a Japanese whiskey, an Irish whiskey, a Scotch whiskey, and they're all whiskey. Whereas you could go Jamaica to South Africa to Fiji to Australia, and they're completely different taste profiles, to the point where they could be different spirits, but yet they're all rum.
It could be. I mean, there is a we taste, and I must say that I have tasted all of these rums, plus a few more with Eric. You know, so. But the amazing thing is, all of them had a different taste, flavor profile. Even though I think virtually all of them are aged in or matured in ex-bourbon barrels. I feel.
These four, yes. We have others that are aged in port, others aged in cognac. These ones right here have all been ex-bourbon barrels.
Right, and then you have some really special couple of special releases. I don't know if you want to talk about that, or is that just going to be too crazy to talk about it at all?
We could talk about the upcoming Christmas releases. We have two very special rums, a 21-year-old pot still rum from Fiji, and a 20-year-old Barbados pure pot still rum, distilled at the Foursquare Distillery.
Yeah, so you could say virtually almost 10 countries, because that Foursquare, even though it's distilled in
Barbados,
Caribbean, has been aged in England. But beyond that, all these had different taste profiles, but you also have something that you're introducing, I think, pretty
Yeah,
soon, and can we talk about that?
absolutely. So we're bottling today, actually. Today we are bottling our first continually produced blend, the Heritage Blend, which is really a blend of the three historical rum making styles, the British, the French, and the Spanish styles of rum making. And this contains rums from one country representing each of those. Barbados representing the British style of making rum, Venezuela representing the Spanish style, and Martinique representing the agricole French style of making rum. So I'm really excited to introduce this to everyone. It's going to be at a much lower price point than the single barrel stuff. So
Naturally, yeah, because single barrels are inherently pretty expensive. With the single barrels, they're generally at cask strength.
yeah,
You're not adding any water normally.
some of them we add water because rum tends to go into the barrel at a much higher proof than whiskey. It's common for Jamaican rums, example, can go in 75 as high as 85% into the barrel. So we'll bring it maybe down from a 75% to a 61%, which is still much stronger than most cask strength rums,
Yes.
but it's not a true cask strength rum.
Right.
We'll call that high proof if it's not, and we'll call it barrel proof on the bottle if it hasn't been included at all, like this Guyana rum, for example.
So if it is not cask strength,
It'll
be
say
called
high proof,
high
full proof. Yeah.
proof.
But for the most part, our single barrels, if they're not at full barrel proof, they tend to be bottled between 56 and 62%. So
Okay.
that's the sweet spot.
Okay. And you taste them, and you taste them to make sure that they are absolutely
Oh yeah,
optimal to,
I taste every proof between like 50 and 65 to find out where that sweet spot is.
Listen, Eric, this is great. I mean, I think people will get an idea of what these rums are. I think they're absolutely beautiful. This is very intriguing because this has the blend of 3 different styles of rums.
Yeah.
And if you want to get really more into details, then you have all these different countries that essentially are absolutely different. Production methods are different,
Yeah.
the terroir is different, and I think you're trying to capture as much of that as possible. And you're trying to even bottle some of the rums in the local countries. Sometimes they don't have the facilities, or it's not just economically viable to do that, but you're even trying to do that, so that's pretty commendable.
Yeah, we would love to bottle everything at source. Right now, the Belize rums are our first ones that we bottle at source, but we'd like to increasingly bottle everything at source. It's challenging shipping your glass bottles to 10 different countries throughout the world, so for the most part, we've been bottling in New York State, but we're going to increasingly bottle at source.
Eric, listen, thank you for taking the time. I really appreciate that. Hopefully people get something out of it, and we are going to have you back here pretty soon.
I can't wait.
In person, tasting possibly all of this with all of you. So
Love that.
stay tuned.
Thank you.